Okay, right, here we are again. We are back, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Booze Brothers. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Hey Mark, yeah, good, good, yeah, good to be back. Doing one of our evening sessions Monday night, so that's cool. But no, it's nice to be back, and hope everyone's well. And yeah, we got some good stuff for you today, as we always try and do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's late. Well, I say it's late on a Monday. It's not really. It's about 7:45. So yeah, it's not get too carried away. Right. Okay. So for this episode, Matt, you did a presentation a couple of weeks ago now to a bunch of work colleagues. In fact, it was a group within your organization called Women in Tech,
Yep.
and you had I guess the courage and the sort of willingness, I suppose, to stand up in front of a pretty sizable group within your company and tell them about your story, which was pretty incredible. I've watched the video. We have posted it. Just a note on that, actually. The presentation is great, but I think we both feel that the slides need to be a little bit more visible. So we're going to
Yeah.
try and edit that so that you can see the slides because it will mean an awful lot more with those. But really just getting straight to the point, there was loads of, clearly there were lots of, observations. I guess intrigued to know how you feel about it now you've done it. What was the reaction like, do you think? How did it go down within the workplace? And, what do you think were the main points of note?
Well, where to start? So, thank you for that intro. I think I just want to start by sort of saying that this was kind of something I've been wanting to do for a while. I kind of felt that it was probably the right time that I stood up and told my story. I always wanted to, it started with the book Man Get Sober, the website, and then I felt that I needed to have that you know kind of presentation there as well. So some weeks ago, I approached the team at work called Women in Tech. I work very closely with some of the women who are in that group, and I said to them, I've got a topic I'd like to talk about. Here's why. Here's what it is. Can I use one of your town halls as a platform? It was a unanimous yes, and that then led to the oh shit, no, I've actually got to do it situation. But and this is something I was actually talking to my son about over the weekend, which is, this is like the drinking thing in some ways. Is you know it takes work, and the work that went into it was not the work I would have done when I was drinking. I wouldn't have been bothered to do it, because the reality is I stood up and spoke for 30 minutes. Now, 30 minutes is quite a long time. I don't think I've ever done that before. And I wanted to do it without notes. I wanted to do it, stand up and deliver the speech that I wanted to deliver. So I put a lot of work into it, but let me tell you, I was crapping myself about doing it. It was probably one of the most stressful things I've ever done, because I was about to stand up in front of a lot of people, and some of those people knew me and they did not know my story. And I was about to tell them my story. And I managed to do it. I think, watch the video, see what you guys think, leave any comments. That'd be great. I think I did it to the best of my ability on that day. And how did it make me feel? It made me feel extremely proud, because again, it's this whole notion of, I'm going to do something, I'm going to put the effort in to do it, and I'm going to deliver it. And that, I mean, it was a massive relief when it was finished, trust me. But the thing is I cannot tell you how overwhelming it was afterwards for the questions, the Q&A at the end. And then they put on a lunch at the end of this town hall, and the questions spilled over into the lunch, and so many people came up to me, and people started talking to me about very personal things. You know, there was a young girl there who said, you know, what do you do if you've got a friend who you are really concerned about? You know, he's going over the top every weekend. You know, we're carrying him out of bars. It's a nightmare, and you know, that took courage from her to come and talk to me about that. I had so many people come up to me and say, because what I really wanted to push on was the idea that, you know, why is it a taboo subject? Why was it difficult for me to go and talk about that when it affects so many people? And that really, I think, I'm glad I did it that way, because it really touched a lot of nerves for a lot of people, and that was apparent. And you know, I received just wonderful feedback, and written feedback as well afterwards. You know, people sent me messages, and I think it was genuine. You know, I don't think there was anything there that wasn't. You know, some people have bought the book. It wasn't an exercise to sell the book at all. In fact, I have only one slide on the book, and I actually don't make much of a point of it. Um, but it made me believe that I'd done the right thing, and I still believe I did the right thing. And it's you know, the video is there on our channel for anyone to watch. And I think it was really hard, because I was 100% honest. And being 100% honest, A, is a difficult thing to do anyway, let alone stood in front of a load of people. But I knew I had to do it that way, and I did manage to do it that way. So I believe. So an amazing experience, something I would do again, something I believe is needed to break this kind of, you know, taboo, that it's a subject that people don't talk about, yet so many people are affected by it. So yeah, just an incredible experience. And you know, who knows, maybe I'll get to do it again, and you know, to a bigger audience maybe, or to a different audience, or whatever. But you know, I feel that it did help. I feel that it was useful. So yeah, an amazing experience. Sorry, I'm going on, but it was yeah, incredible.
Giving a presentation, you stood up and you said, you know, I was 300 pounds overweight, and you know, I went through this enormous transformation, and you know, here I am, and I'm now, you know, 180 pounds or whatever, and you know, I'm fit and I'm running. I'm gonna guess that that's probably a topic you would feel there would be less of a sort of taboo over, you know.
Yeah,
You know, I think you
hugely.
mentioned it in the presentation. If you were 100 a day, 2 packs a day smoker, and you quit, you again wouldn't. You'd want to share that with people. And I
Yeah.
think what's interesting is that I was just in the sauna this morning after the gym, and there were two women there, and they were talking about. I overheard. It's very difficult not to overhear conversation when you're in a sauna. We were all not fully clothed, but don't worry, it wasn't one of those saunas. But anyway, there were these two women in there, and they were talking. One of them had obviously had her house renovated, and it sounded an absolute nightmare, because they didn't have a kitchen for weeks on end. There was shit everywhere, and she said, and I just started drinking too much. She said, I just started drinking a lot. And then the other person said, oh, I know. She said that happened to us. She said we during COVID or something we did, and they both then went in. They sort of had this conversation about how they sort of developed this bad habit with alcohol. And you know, it just struck me in that moment that you, like you said, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And
Yeah.
if you're, I think it's very rare, actually. I think the percentage of people that drink alcohol where it's just never a problem for them, like it never gets in the way, like it never impacts them, it's got to be minimal. So why is it still? I mean, I feel it, you know, and I feel like I feel self-conscious almost when I explain to somebody that I don't drink, because I don't want to have to sort of go through this long explanation of it. And you shouldn't do. And I wonder
Yeah.
why that remains, and what can we do to help to sort of kind of get rid of that.
I think it's just our ability, or not ability, that's the wrong word, but I think we have a fault in our, lives, is that we need to, or we feel the need that we have to portray that everything's fine, everything's good, we're okay, we're a upstanding human being, and we have no issues. And I work for a large company, and you know it's it's quite a prestige business, and people are cool and trendy, and they're wandering around, and everyone looks fine, and of course you must be fine, you work for this company, but uh, you know 80% of people are not actually fine. Everybody has difficulty in their lives, and I think when you expose yourself and you expose it, and you say, you know what, I am here today, and I'm going to tell you exactly how it was,
Mm,
and you know what, I have no shame in that,
mm,
because I know there's other people out there who are in the same situation. And that was very much my message at the beginning was, you know, you cannot tell me in a company of 90,000 people that I am just the only one. There are other people out there going through, or have been through, what I went through. And there's no doubt about that. But we just don't talk about it. And that
yeah,
was my message. That was what I wanted to get out, was this fact that why don't we talk about it?
yeah,
Like you say, if someone wanted to lose weight, if someone wanted to stop smoking, if someone said they had depression, if someone indicated that they were having a tough time with their marriage, it would be a talk that would be acceptable and easy. This was not, but the reaction was incredible. And I actually wished you know, I wished it could have been a bigger audience and everything. I felt that the message really was welcomed, and it made me feel, for anybody out there who's listening or watching this, should I say, you know, my God, you're not alone. And really, you can transform your life, and just by stopping one thing, everything changes. And you know what? The love and the reaction and the hope that you get from people when you do it, or when you try, or whatever, is incredible. And don't I think maybe we get it wrong. I think I got it wrong in that, we do assume that we may be sort of the drag of society or whatever, but it's not true. And
no.
and people do admire you for speaking up.
What, look, if you think about it, so the business that you work in, you said there's 90,000 employees. So I think statistically that means there's something like 13 or 14,000 human beings within that business who
Yep.
have trouble with alcohol. Now,
Correct.
what's interesting about that is that if you went to any business and said, I can help to improve performance from 15% of your workforce, most companies would be interested in that. And one of the things, you want to boil it right back, if you want to get kind of reductive in a way, one of the things which is becoming more and more clear to the point of beyond any doubt is that one of the essential ingredients to performance in life, social, being a sort of functioning person within society, and all the rest of it, the sort of bedrock of that is, and this is a bit random, but bear with me, is sleep. There's such a lot of research around the restorative, replenishing, the critical importance that sleep plays on your mental health. Now, the most disruptive element in sleep in any level is alcohol. The whilst if you take your business as an example, we're talking about 13 or 14,000 people who have got a real problem. So we're talking about a problem to the point where it's really impacting their lives.
Yeah.
About 80%, so something like 75,000 of those employees will be suffering from disrupted sleep, more fatigue, anxiety. This thing is impacting the performance of that business. And one of the things I do as a side to, my other thing that I do is talk a lot about the relationship between self-care and business performance. And in fact, self-care and mental well-being is a business strategy. It is a business strategy, and it's one which is under leveraged by organizations. If businesses spent as much time focused on the well-being, the mental health, the physical health of the people as they do on KPIs, metrics, bottom line, top line, cash flow, those things happen as a result of the performance of the people.
Yeah.
And I quit alcohol. One of the main reasons I quit, and you mentioned this in your presentation, was because it was counterproductive. Here I was in my late 40s. I was trying to be fit. I was trying to lose weight. I was trying to perform in my business. I was trying to perform in my life. And every weekend I was doing this thing that was fucking destructive, that was making me feel fucking terrible. And it was just like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm doing all this over here, like, drinking
Yeah.
drinking wheatgrass shots for fuck's sake, and then going and drinking, God knows how much booze. So it's not, it is in the, you do everything you can to encourage people to just come out from out behind the bushel on this one and talk about it. Because you know what? If I'm that business with 90,000 employees, start talking about this and start giving people advice and start telling people the life that they could be leading, the productivity they could achieve. Because you're right. I knew you when you drank. There's no way in a million years you'd have done that presentation. No
No,
way. So
no.
just that alone is evidence enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have wanted to do it. I wouldn't have been able to do it with, between quotation marks, because, I just wouldn't have put the time or effort in. There's no way I would have been able to stand up there for 30 minutes off my own steam with having practice to my wife, to the wall, to, and made sure that, okay, I'm in a position now. I'm super nervous, but I can do this, and I did.
Okay, well, look, we've been talking for quite a while here. I'm just a bit conscious of time, so I'm wondering whether we ought to start to think about wrapping this up, maybe bring it to close. Is there any other points? And we can continue this conversation. I think we're going to go through your book and sort of deal with that chapter by chapter. But are there any other points that you want to make, just stuff that came out of it, or anything else, or yeah, any other?
No, I just think, talk. I think it's liberating. It was again a reminder for me of why I did this. It's again a reminder of just everything, all the benefits it's brought me. Again, a reminder of just, human beings in general are kind and caring and want the best for you. And if you're out there questioning that, don't, because it's the truth. And it takes a lot to shock people, and I don't think anybody was actually shocked. I think they listened intently to a true story, a true journey, and they related to it, because so many people can.
That came across just watching it. I watched the video of it. It came across that there was a lot of empathy and buy-in from the audience, that there was a lot of care. People cared. People felt there was emotion in that room. And I think maybe the message for anybody that's watching this, if you feel like you are struggling with this issue, find someone to talk to. You can talk to us if you like through the chat, but find someone to talk to. And I think your point about people are kinder than you might expect, I do think that is true. I think a lot of this is in our head. We think people are going to think badly of us. I think that's actually not the case. And I think when you open up and you talk and you share it, there are some incredible people out there. Yeah, there's more help out there than you might think there is. So don't hold back. Reach out.
Absolutely. All right, we'll stop there. And your video is fading anyway, so you'll see it got a bit laggy at the end there, but maybe that's the message. It's getting late, so we'll.
I think that might be my doing video games upstairs, so we'll call it a wrap.
There you go.
It's as best I can. Yeah, awesome. Cheers, Matt. Thanks to everybody for listening.
Yep, give us a thumbs up, follow us. It's always a pleasure. Good night, everyone.
Cheers.